Okay, so I requested Stephan Sterns' whole case, his entire case of when he was run over by a truck as a little boy and got this TBI, traumatic brain injury, that should be the crux of his defense in these new cases where he stands charged of horrible things. But this is what they sent me. This is all that's left. Apparently, that's the small invoice I paid. And then we have 4 pages from the court in Sarasota. So I was willing to pay for it all, because if Stephan Sterns, who's going to court possibly tomorrow, Wednesday, February 12th, for a pre-trial hearing in one of his cases, the CSAM case, horrible case, I wanted to see how bad was this TBI? How much did it really injure him? I was willing to pay for everything. If you want to look it up in the Sarasota court system in Florida, it is case 1998, CA 001829. Basically, they told me all the paperwork was destroyed. This is all they have left. So we know Stephan Sterns' mom said she called the hospital. They couldn't find their records either. If you check the court system, this case doesn't always pop up. So that's why I called. I'm like, what's going on? I gave them my American Express number. I didn't know if it would be thousands of pages. They charge $1 per page. All we get basically are the parties and the progress of case docket events, all the way from when the lawsuit was launched on April 1st, 1998, until 7/8/22. Well, until 7/8/22, when it was destroyed, basically. So for my request for the entire case, they told me the record requested has met the retention period and no longer is available. Whew. So much for that. If you want to see that, I've linked to the paperwork below, because I did take photos of it for anyone who wants to see it. In the meantime, I don't know how much details his lawyers will be able to find about his alleged TBI, if his lawyers are going to blame that injury Stephan suffered as a little boy for all his problems later on. So tomorrow is the pre-trial hearing at 9 a.m., February 12th, 9 a.m., for his CSAM case. I just checked. It's like almost 5 o'clock on February 11th, and it hasn't been rescheduled yet. Maybe they will. But of course, his attorneys want all the nasty stuff they found on his phone and in his Google Drive with his victim, Madeline Soto, being pictured in some horrible images and videos, stuff that Stephan forced her to do, which he never should have. Now, of course, since that's very damning evidence, his lawyers are fighting so hard to get it thrown out. This video's taken me 2 days, so I filmed a little intro about it yesterday, talking about all the phone stuff, and it sounds like to me police really did get enough permission, in my opinion, from Stephan Sterns to go through his phone and download it. And they don't mention all the times he says and yeah in the upcoming audio. Some of the most damning evidence was found on the phone of Stephan Sterns. Stephan Sterns, he stands accused of getting rid of his girlfriend's daughter, 13-year-old Madeline Soto. And no wonder his attorneys are fighting hard. His lawyers are fighting tooth and nail to get everything found on the phone of Stephan Sterns thrown out. No wonder there were 1,700 images alone, images, perhaps videos too, of Madeline Soto and the horrific things that Stephan Sterns made her do, even as a little 8-year-old girl just trying to watch cartoons. No wonder his lawyers have written up these motions to suppress evidence obtained from unlawful searches of cell phone and the motion to suppress evidence obtained from unlawful seizure of cell phone. Yeah, his lawyers have come up with a ton of excuses just from me reading these 2 documents. One is 26 pages and another is 14 pages. And we have another one coming, a motion to suppress evidence obtained from Google search warrant. So they want to suppress everything. Attorneys, of course, his criminal defense attorneys, his lawyers want to get rid of everything because the evidence is horrific. So Stephan's lawyers are saying stuff like, well, Stephan hadn't eaten all day. He was just wearing flip-flops in the cold Florida February weather, and cops had him out at midnight, and he was sleepy, and he had reset his phone, and so many excuses. So I want to go through in detail these reports and compare what they're saying in this report to the actual audio that we have of Stephan Sterns being interviewed shortly after Madeline Soto was reported missing.
Is it okay if I go in your settings real quick? I just want to see if you're logged on to your Google.
I am not logged on to my Google with that, actually.
Is it okay if I check?
Yeah. I don't think I've eaten anything since yesterday. You have to ask her if we went anywhere. I don't recall. I was so zonked out on Ativan at that point.
Okay.
It was the only way I could get to sleep last night. And then again this afternoon. That's why I missed your calls. I'm sorry. I took an Ativan and conked out for a few hours.
And then I also noticed, I was checking your call history. I noticed that you don't have anything before this morning. Is that unusual on your phone?
No, it's a new phone.
I am going to hold on to your phone, okay? I'll give it back to you when we're done. Okay? Do you have any questions for us?
How long are you going to need my phone?
I'm not sure. I'm waiting for my supervisor to call me.
My dad. It's just my dad's using that to get a hold of me and get updates.
They can call Jen's phone.
Okay.
Your phone. I told you that I was going to hold on to it and that we would like to download your phone, right?
Okay.
Is this something that I have your consent to do, or do I need to get a search warrant for your phone?
It should be fine.
You're okay with us going through your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have the PIN to your phone?
I don't know, my brain is so mush right now. I barely slept. I haven't eaten in 2 days.
And then your phone, they're going to work on it overnight, so you'll probably get it in the morning. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay.
And the different little quirks I noticed about certain, quote, statement of facts in the case. For example, we'll go over this statement of fact number 1 on February 26, 2024 at approximately 2000 hours, which is approximately 8 p.m. Jennifer Soto reported her 13-year-old daughter, Madeline Soto, missing to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. I found that interesting too. They talk about Jennifer reporting Madeline missing around 8 p.m. Indeed, it was around 7:46 p.m. when the officer showed up. We've seen the body cam video. Jennifer Soto and Stephan Sterns are at Jennifer's mother's insurance office. And that's when they're saying she reported her daughter missing. Notably, they did not talk about the initial 911 call, which was made around 4-something p.m. and was not made by Jennifer Soto. So it's interesting. We'll go through and compare. Stephan Sterns' lawyers are really coming hard for Detective Myra Tagler and Detective Acosta, and how Detective Tagler took hold of Stephan's phone. Did he give them implied consent or limited consent?
Your phone. I told you that I was going to hold on to it and that we would like to download your phone, right?
Okay.
Is this something that I have your consent to do, or do I need to get a search warrant for your phone?
It should be fine.
You're okay with us going through your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have the PIN to your phone?
And I love when Detective Tagler asked different questions like, is it okay if I go in your settings real quick? I just want to see if you're logged into Google. Stephan's attorneys are going to say by him saying yeah, oh, he's just saying yeah to that specific and limited request. So we're going to go through all of this and see if his attorneys are making any sense. Do they have a case? Will they impress upon the judge, upon the court, to throw away all this evidence that could literally take his life? This evidence means everything. This evidence proves what he literally did to Maddie, the horrific actions he imparted against this young girl. No wonder lawyers are saying, throw it all out. Throw the baby out with the bathwater. It was an unlawful search and seizure. Everything found on Sterns' phone, fruit of the poisonous tree, so we've got to throw everything out. Will it work? We hope not, but let's go over it in detail and see what his attorneys are alleging, and will it have any impact upon the court? What will happen? And then we'll close it out. So basically, throughout these audio clips, you'll hear Detective Tagler asking, is it okay if I go in your settings real quick? I just want to see, if you're logged into Google. Sterns is saying, yeah. And he's like, oh, I don't think I've eaten anything since yesterday. Notice when you listen to his interviews coming up from Tuesday, February 27th, late at night, and it goes past midnight into February 28th for the next audio interview. So I'll play them both near the end so you can hear them in their their entirety and hear why his lawyers are fighting and saying this detective and Detective Acosta and Tagler, they weren't being fair with Sterns. Sterns changes his story. He says, oh, I don't think I've eaten anything since yesterday. Then he says, oh, I don't think I've eaten anything in 2 days. So the story changes. And he talks about, oh, taking an Ativan. It was the only way I could get to sleep last night. That's why I missed your call. Sorry. So in essence, his lawyers will read through some of the highlights here. Stephan's lawyers are claiming, oh, Detective Tagler took his phone, commandeered his phone. It was illegal the way she did it. And then she admitted she was checking his call history. And I notice you don't have anything before this morning. I applaud Detectives Tagler's and Acosta. Okay, yeah, maybe they didn't do things by the book, but I was so glad she got his phone. Now, imagine Madeline Soto was reported missing Monday, February 26th. Stephan supposedly dropped her off near her middle school since 8 a.m. and she's just disappeared. So, of course, by Tuesday night, it's been almost 48 hours. Of course, people are going to be freaking out like, where's this little 13-year-old girl? And they already know Sterns is acting weird. They probably think Jennifer Soto is acting weird too, but they're focused on Sterns. So I was so glad she was able to get his phone. She was going to hold on to it. I'll give it back to you when we're done, she says. Now, Tagler also says, you're okay with us going through your phone? Sterns says, yeah. Now, in these paperwork highlights we're going to read, you don't see his lawyers pulling out all of his little yeah, that we hear on the audio. So I hope the judge doesn't just read the defense lawyer's paperwork, these motions to try and get everything thrown out. I hope the judge, I'm sure he's worth his salt. We've seen him in other cases. I hope he goes through and literally listens to the upcoming audio again all the time. Sterns says, yeah. Basically, and he gave them permission. Granted, she didn't sounds like pull out the paperwork right away and do things like they did in the Chris Watts case. When detectives really wanted his mistress's phone, Nicole Kessinger, she hemmed and hawed. She had her dad right there next to her and, oh yeah, I guess should I give you my phone and detail what they were exactly going to download and, oh, I don't know, I don't want any of those photos getting out. Back and forth. It took forever. And even in that instance, the detective, he did kind of warn her, look, will you give me permission to download your phone, go through your phone? I could get a warrant. I'm not even going to tell you whether or not I get a warrant. So people do bring it up. Detectives do bring up the notion that I could get a warrant for your phone. Now, Sterns is not an idiot. The way his lawyers are going to make him seem like he's so vulnerable, sitting there, standing there in flip-flops. They don't mention it. Looks like he's wearing socks too. She acts like he's just wearing flip-flops and it's, 50 or 60 degree weather in Florida. Big deal. And he has on a thin hoodie and just little khaki pants and it was midnight. Whatever. Sterns could have said, no, Detective Tagler, give me my phone back, or I'm not giving it to you at all. Get a warrant. And then he would have looked even more suspicious. But no, stupid Sterns thought he was the smartest man in the room. He was resetting his phone. He thought he had gotten rid of all the evidence. That's probably why he turned it over to Detective Tagler to begin with. Let's talk a little bit about these motions to suppress the evidence and this motion to bar execution by lethal injection. And I learned by just reading that Stephan Sterns has been arrested before. And I'm like, why can't I find that info? Maybe that's what happened in California. But I was just reading the broad strokes. It could almost make you laugh if it wasn't so tragic. But Stephan Sterns' lawyers are just going hard against Detective Tagler, saying, she exceeded the carefully circumscribed scope of Mr. Sterns' limited consent, merely to check if you're logged into Google. And Sterns is like, I don't think I am logged in. And she's just like, let me see. Basically, his lawyers are calling it an overreach, an orchestrated, coercive, late-night confrontation to extract consent for a complete forensic download of his device. Well, she did tell him they were going to download it. At that point, Detective Tagler gave Sterns many opportunities to say, no, just give me my phone back. No, you can't download it. He's a grown man. He could have said no, but he didn't. So thank God he screwed up. And thank the Lord, the evidence was obtained. 1,700 horrific photos and videos of Stephan Sterns, the things he imposed upon Maddie, and just going back for years, they at least found 2 years at first, and no wonder, thankfully, they had enough probable cause to arrest him. This is the evidence they want to be suppressed. So it's saying all tangible evidence or intangible evidence obtained, they call them the illegal searches of Stephan Michael Sterns' cell phone on February 27th and the 28th. 27th was the Tuesday night, 28th early into Wednesday morning. I'm so grateful they were on it. They found it. He was arrested that Wednesday, the 28th. That afternoon, because they knew we have this man. His girlfriend's daughter is missing mysteriously, since Monday. And we can't find her anywhere, and he's driving out to this place and his story's not adding up. Surveillance video is not matching up with his story. Oh, I went here. Oh, she didn't want McDonald's. Oh, we left really early. Oh, wait, I forgot my clicker. I'm sorry. I'm very time blind. I don't know basically what's going on. And his lawyers are perpetuating this gaslighting. I just hate it. I hope it doesn't work at all. It probably won't. I cannot see this Judge Karsten, saying, Tagler went too far in the way she obtained his phone. So, those 1,700 photos of him treating this young girl horribly, horrifically for years upon years, just toss all that out because I'm really not sure if he gave consent or not. No, he gave enough consent. The lawyers, Stephan is just upset that the Cellbrite forensic download extraction of his phone caught so much. So they're just trying to make it seem in totality that Stephan Michael Sterns, that his Fourth Amendment rights were violated and everything. Now this tripped me out. Another thing in the statement of facts, number 13 in the statement of facts is saying, Mr. Sterns explained he had recently performed an operating system update which resulted in an accidental factory reset of his phone, causing him to lose all contacts and information. I can't believe they put that in the statement of facts. Now, of course, it's a fact that Stephan said it. He said that lie, but no jury in the land is going to accept or even believe the fact that, oops, I pressed some button and accidentally factory reset my phone twice. Just about every person in America probably has their own phone. And what percentage of people out there have pressed one button from some push notification and accidentally factory reset their phone? Most people will know this is a lie. So they're just going through and talking all about his inconsistencies, expressing concern. He wanted to maintain contact with his dad, and Tagler was just like, he can call Jennifer's phone. I love that about her. I'm sorry. She was all about business. I don't blame her because look, they were faced with a missing little girl. And so it wasn't time to play around with Sterns's, I was sleepy and I just had Ativan and blah, blah, blah. And they're calling it the midnight contact. Detectives referenced their earlier unauthorized seizure, stating, I told you I was going to hold on to it, and that we would like to download your phone, right? Now that's the statement of facts, number 24. Notice what they leave off here. Please, God, let the judge see this in Jesus. They leave off the fact that Sterns says, if you actually listen to the audio compared to what is in writing. And Sterns, oftentimes he'll say, as in the affirmative, or okay. But they don't say that. They say the detectives presented Mr. Sterns with an ultimatum. Is this something I have your consent to do, or do I need to get a search warrant for your phone? And that's when he's like, and other times he's like, oh, it's probably okay. And other times he specifically says, yeah, and okay. So that's enough consent in my book, and hopefully the judge will think so too. They're talking about the detectives pressured Mr. Sterns into providing his phone PIN. Oh, it's a mess. So these documents are just, you give them almost kudos for trying, but it's just annoying. Now this is saying, oh, during this initial round of questioning, they act like the detectives were doing something wrong. I mean, there's a missing 13-year-old girl. The guy who was allegedly the last one to see her, of course he's going to be questioned. They're doing their jobs. So Sterns said he took an Ativan earlier that night for panic attacks. He said he didn't need tranquilizers for some time, but needed them to help him sleep. And they talk about Ativan can treat panic disorders, can cause drowsiness, sedation, impaired alertness. So they're trying to explain away Stephan's whole attitude during these interviews you're going to hear coming up, which I realized I don't think I ever put on this channel, at least not back to back like this in their entirety. Now, some parts, of course, are redacted out, just so we can hear what they're talking about, the whole scope of why they're trying to get all this important evidence thrown out. And Stephan is saying, oh yeah, he was sleeping. This is why I missed your calls. I'm sorry I took Ativan and conked out for a few hours. Sounds like a real worried stepdad, right? No, he needed to rest from what he had done. Sunday night, Monday, Lord knows all the energy it took him to dispose of Maddie. This is the part, number 36. At the time of this midnight interaction, Mr. Sterns had been detained outside in 50 to 60 degree temperatures, wearing only flip-flops with socks. Looks like he's wearing socks to me. Khaki pants and a thin hoodie, had not eaten all day, and was prevented from returning to Miss Soto's heated vehicle after initial questioning. Good. They have to divide and conquer. They have to separate Jennifer and Stephan and find out, look, what's actually happening here. They did their jobs well. So around 2:40 a.m., February 28th, Stephan's phone was taken to the Orange County Sheriff's Office Digital Forensics Unit. So they were working. It's 2:40 a.m. They're up there. They're doing the download. They're finding out everything that Stephan had tried to hide. Eventually, they get a Google warrant application. The Google warrant execution revealed over 1,700 files in a Google Drive folder. They don't mention the name of that folder was Madeline. So check out the way lawyers sometimes try and play this Jedi mind trick. They don't give you all the facts. The files contained associated location data and metadata spanning from 2019 to 2024. Now we know Maddie was only 8 years old in 2019. They're saying neither detectives from the Orange County Sheriff's Office nor those from the Kissimmee Police Department sought a warrant to search the contents of Stephan's phone. Too bad, so sad, I don't care. Once you treat a child the way you treated Maddie, the way Stephan treated Maddie, who cares if the detectives played fast and loose with his phone? I'm sorry. I'm like, cry me a river, Stephan, whatever. They talk about his prior arrests. You know, they start going all into the privacies of life and blah, 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 all these other cases. But I think they're, of course, trying their best. But to me, it's not overreach. At least Detective Tagler asked several times, look, we want your phone. We want to look through your phone. We're going to download your phone. And if he had objected, he should have objected then. And I want to look up when he was previously arrested. This is a trip. So down on page 22 of 26, on the one unlawful search motion filed by Sterns' attorneys, it says, fourth, while Mr. Sterns is an adult, he lacked the specialized knowledge necessary to navigate the complex constitutional implications of his consent. Oh, poor Stephan. He didn't know what he was doing when the cops said, oh, we want to download your phone. His limited experience with the legal system, having only one prior arrest, which was ultimately noli pros, which basically means abandoned or dismissed. So maybe that's why I couldn't find what this arrest was, but I want to find out what he was arrested for. I remember Stephan telling the cops he alluded to some prior trouble, prior run-ins with police, but we never got an explanation of what it actually was. But anyway, this one prior arrest, which was noli prost, and he didn't know about the legal system, left him particularly vulnerable to coercive tactics. Give me a break. I'm sorry. You know who was vulnerable to coercive tactics? The little girl, Madeline Soto, whom Stephan was like, oh, well, if you put my thing in your mouth for 3 seconds, then I'll let you play with my phone. Or a little girl who was trying to just watch cartoons. That's who was particularly vulnerable to coercive tactics. Now, I know lawyers have to do their jobs, I really do. And I know everyone deserves due process, but it's this kind of crap that makes people go, ugh. Anyway, they're talking about Sterns' physical and mental state was significantly compromised. He'd been detained outside in the cold temperatures for hours without food, was emotionally distraught about the ongoing investigation, and was under the influence of Ativan. Yeah, maybe he was distraught because he knew he had done the wrong thing with Madeline for years, and it culminated into the wrong thing that day before, that Monday, February 26th. So it's okay that they presented him with, look, give us permission to download it. We can get a warrant. It's all true. Either he could give them permission, they could have gotten a warrant, instead of systematically wearing down Mr. Sterns into compliance and leveraging threats of a warrant. Oh my goodness. Don't make me start. But anyway, the lawyers are trying their best. So I think those are the broad strokes in terms of what they want to throw away. They want to throw away, of course, all the 1,700 photos, everything they found in the Google Drive, everything. Before we go off and just listen to the rest of Sterns' interviews, which you may have heard already, but it's always good to get a refresher because I was like, they're fighting so hard over the way Detective Tagler obtained his phone. I want to listen to how she did it again in full. So that'll be coming up. We'll just talk real quick about this motion to allow jurors to visit the execution chamber. This is what the YouTuber, The Docket, was like, whoa, can you believe this? So they want the jury basically to go see where the defendant will be housed and ultimately executed if he does get the death penalty. So it kind of reminds me of Dead Man Walking. Did you see that movie with Sean Penn back in the day? It kind of gave people a different look at the death penalty when you see the whole process and maybe get to know the inmate a little bit, get to know their story. They want the jury to actually go to the execution chamber at the Florida State Prison to see the manner in which Sterns would be executed, or if they can't do that, at least introduce video footage that accurately shows the conditions of death row at which the defendant will be housed, and show footage of his actual lethal injection chamber and gurney where he will be strapped down. So it goes through all the facts again, and I don't know if the judge will allow this. I mean, it seems fair enough. It says alternatively introduce video and photographic footage of death row conditions, footage of both the actual electric chair and gurney, everything. So maybe they can do that. You know, it's okay. To me, it's okay for a jury to see. It says potential jurors in capital cases frequently assume that the death penalty is humanely carried out. And sometimes jurors, they say, in error, opt for the death penalty under the erroneous impression that it is either too good for the accused or somehow kinder than life imprisonment. So they go through this whole thing. They're trying whatever they can. And actually, I do think this is kind of a good idea. They talk about some documentary titled 14 Days in May, accurately depicting the facts of the final days in the life of a prisoner. I think I'm going to watch that if I can find it on YouTube. That one actually isn't that bad of a suggestion. I know their goal is to say, look how horrific this death penalty is. Look at the times it was botched. And even lethal injection, I know a lot of people assume you just fall asleep, but no, there is a point where they're like, you're still aware, it can be botched. You can, have this anxiety to breathe and all these things. And I think it's good to know. And it's good to be clear-eyed, and it's good to know what you're voting for, what your verdict is contributing to. And some people might gladly still say, look, Stephan, fine, go to death row. We don't care, because what care did you give Maddie? What about her right to life? What about her right to be a free little girl, grow up in a delightful household? What about her right to have a good mom and dad and not be tampered with and bothered and have so much impressed upon her? And if she was pregnant, those fears, we don't know if she was, whatever she suffered, what about her right not to feel that fear? We need to talk about the victims more. So, I don't know. Before we listen to all of Stephan's lies throughout these interview audios that took place very soon after Madeline was reported missing that very next night, let's close with Revelation 19:9. Then the angel said to me, write, blessed are those who are invited to the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he said to me further, these are the true and exact words of God. Thanks for watching all this. We will see if they change that pretrial hearing tomorrow. Will we get a surprise? Will he put in a guilty plea? I mean, his lawyers are working so hard, it makes it sound like Stephan is not going to plead guilty anytime soon. And he's not going to spare anyone from having to go through all these trials. They're throwing everything out there at the court, everything at the judge to see what he will deny, what he will approve. And we'll see too. We'll keep watching. Will he show up in court tomorrow? We'll see. Thank you so much for watching all this. Take care.
Case number 24-11313. Today's date is February 27, 2024. The time is 19:16 hours. We're in Kissimmee speaking with Stephan Sterns. Okay, so I know that you already spoke to the other detective, right, about everything that kind of happened today. If you can just kind of go over it with us one more time, the timeline from like when you guys woke up and took her to school and all that.
So we woke up early. The plan was that we were going to get McDonald's breakfast on the way, so we made amazingly good time getting
I don't mean to interrupt you, okay? Neither of us were here yesterday, so if you can be kind of like specific about like times and stuff like that, okay?
Woke up around 7:15, somewhere around there, which is an early start for us, but we had talked about getting McDonald's breakfast beforehand, so we wanted to make good time. We did make good time. We got out the door maybe 7:30ish, 7:45ish maybe. Got over to that area. She was asleep in the car most of the time, just snoozing until we got there. We got to McDonald's. We're close to McDonald's. I said, "Do you still want it?" She wasn't interested in the McDonald's anymore, so we continued on. And she wanted to be dropped off a little down the ways from the school. She's got this phase that she's been into lately where she's very particular about what car she's seen getting out of in front of the school. She prefers my cars are, I guess, kind of hoopties. I get it. It's an image thing. But that was sometime probably between 8:20 and 8:40ish. Somewhere in there. It was along the stretch of the road that on the right side that has all the communities on it before you get to the overpass. You could see the overpass from where it was. So it was on that side, on that stretch of road, and that's where I dropped her off. She said she was going to go wait for her friends. She was going to find them and hang out and wait for her friends. And I asked if that was going to be okay. She said, yeah, it's fine. Kids get dropped off early enough as it is. It's not totally unusual for that to happen. It's just not usually that early that I drop her off. I do school runs every once in a while for her. I said, okay. Let her out. Have a good day. Love you. Thanks. Love you too. And I turned around and was driving away and was watching her in my rearview mirror to make sure that she was going where she was supposed to go. And she was moving in that direction, but she was rummaging around in her backpack or something. What I assumed was probably headphones or something like that, but I find out later that she forgot her phone here, so she may have been rummaging for her phone. But she was still kind of making her way towards that direction, so it looked okay. It looked like any other day. And I just continued on.
Okay. When you said you dropped her off, like, in the area, kind of like where exactly did you drop her off?
So if you pull down the street going towards the school, you've got that whole strip of communities on the right side there. It was in that stretch of sidewalk there. We pulled in and maybe about halfway up the street or so, and she was like, right here's good.
Was it like in one of the apartment complexes, the church?
Not in, it was outside one of the apartment. It was just on the sidewalk on the side of the road there, just like a tuck and roll, you know?
Okay, so like if I were to be on the road, where,
with the maps,
like what do you remember seeing that you dropped her off at?
I remember the overpass is up ahead. The sidewalk was on the right, row of trees. There's, I think, a median in the middle. And then there was another community maybe across from that before you get to the church. So it was like before the church.
So Town Loop Boulevard's that street that connects to the school.
Yeah.
Is that the street that you...
Is this, which one?
So that's Town Loop Boulevard, right? That's the one
yes. And where's the school located here?
that the school's right here.
School's right there. Okay, so the school would be on the left in this case. Here's the overpass
you
I was
guys came from
talking
this side?
about. Yeah, we
Okay.
came from Town Loop, I think, which is Town Center. Yeah, so we made a right here and then pulled somewhere about.
So you came from Town Center and turned onto Town Loop.
Yeah, where's the church? Is this the church here?
There is
would assume
yep,
so,
that's the
yeah.
church.
Okay, so we weren't up to the church yet. So we were pulled onto here, and then we pulled maybe about halfway up here, and I dropped her off somewhere in this area here.
And she walked from there to the school?
Yeah,
It's a pretty long way.
it's maybe a block or so, but it's not out of the ordinary for her. She likes to do that sometimes. She likes the cold weather. She was wearing her hoodie. She likes the cold walks.
So you dropped her off near Lilac? Does that sound right?
Yeah, it wasn't at a cross street. It was just a bit of the sidewalk there.
So did you merge into the sidewalk, or did you stop in the middle of the street, or?
I just pulled over to the sidewalk there and let her hop out.
How often do you drop her off?
This might be the 5th or 6th time I've ever done it.
Okay. And when you drop her off, where do you normally drop her off at?
Normally down the street from the school. She requests that a lot.
Like the same area or somewhere else?
Especially if it's sometimes in the church parking lot, sometimes just wherever she tells us to let her out. As long as it's close, you know.
So it's halfway between Town Loop and Town Center and the church?
Yeah, it's just in this stretch right here. Like we got about maybe halfway up and it was there.
The McDonald's that you guys were going to stop at, did you pull into the plaza at any point?
No, she 86'd the idea before we even got there.
What do you mean by 86?
Poo-pooed the idea, didn't want it anymore,
Okay.
wasn't in the mood anymore.
At any point while you were driving to the school, did you make a U-turn?
Yeah, I tried to sell her on McDonald's one more time because I was still kind of hungry, but at that point she was also just wanting to get to school.
Okay,
so
where
we turned right back around.
Where did you make that U-turn at?
Actually, the school not the school parking lot, the church parking lot. I pulled into that, turned around and pulled back out. Did a U-turn there and went back to the McDonald's, and she still wasn't having it, and that's when we came back. See, the McDonald's is on the same Town Loop or Town Center. It connects to the same road that the
school's on?
Yeah, so it's like a straight shot.
So you guys came from, just so I can kind of get a good visualization, Town Center, and where did you come from, Town Center?
Town Center, so where's the McDonald's? I'm so bad at reading these, I'm sorry. So we
This
came,
is all Town Center.
So we came across on Town Loop, I believe. Is that the school is that the road that the school is on?
No, this is Town Center. So
Okay.
you said you were on Town Center, and then you made a right on Town Loop, which is
Yeah.
the one that takes you to the school,
Yes, correct.
right?
I think you passed it.
But what I'm saying is before Town Loop, or I'm sorry, for Town Center, what street did you take?
I'm so sorry. I'm bad with the streets around here.
How do you usually get to the school? Or where do
I
you-
just take John Young and then wait till I see the McDonald's and make a left there and then follow that around, and that goes straight into the road that the school is on. I just use the landmarks, and I don't memorize the street names.
Is that JYP?
Yeah, so this is JYP.
I mean, at the McDonald's, you turn right?
And then you said you made a left at the McDonald's? So that's John Young Parkway, you're going north
left
on
at
John Young?
McDonald's, and then go around, and then that shoots straight into the road that she's on.
Okay. Because that's...
I believe that's the correct road.
Yeah, well, that's the fastest way to get there, but you told me you came from Town Center and Town Loop.
I'm sorry, I don't know the street names.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So
I'm doing my
no,
best.
that's okay. So now that we know that you came from Jungyoung Parkway and you made a left on Town Loop, so you passed the McDonald's.
Yeah, that was when she said no to McDonald's the first time.
Okay. So you guys keep on going on Town Loop.
Yeah. But at that point, we still had a lot of time to kill. Very early.
So what did you guys do?
Drove towards the school, made a U-turn, came back, tried to do the McDonald's thing again. She didn't want it.
So where did you, one more
did
time,
give
where
her-
did you do the U-turn at?
It probably was right by the church because it was still way too early for school. So it was on that stretch of road. I mean, they had the meeting there, the separation, so that left turn where the church is, you could make a U-turn there.
And then after you dropped her off, what did you do?
Stayed, talked to her for a minute, made sure, is it all right that you're going early? Because it was still early. She said, yeah, it's fine. I'm going to hang out and wait for my friends to get there, which she does sometimes, so it didn't sound, outrageous or anything. That was it. Told her to have a good day. I loved her. She told me she loved me too. I turned around to leave, and I was watching her in my rearview mirror. And she looked like she was walking in the right direction. She was rummaging in her bag a little bit, like I said, but still sort of just shambling in the right direction while she was doing it. So it looked normal. It looked okay.
Okay, and then what did you do after you left the area?
I left to go to the local vape shop because I needed some more vape juice. They weren't quite open yet, so I ended up going back home, hung out with Jen for a little while, waited about an hour or so, and then went back and checked the vape shop again. It was open, so I got what I needed there, and came back home and hung out with Jen again for a while.
Do you remember what time you came home?
The first time was probably right around 10, close to it, and then I waited here and went back to the vape shop, probably finished at the vape shop and came back home again a little after 11.
Okay. You said the first time that you hung out with Jen for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Was Jen here when you got here at
Yes.
10? Okay.
I think so. She might have been at her blood appointment. Let me double check. I know she had a blood appointment at some point during the day.
It's okay, we don't have to ask her right now.
Sorry, everything's a blur.
So she might have been here, she might have not have been here
I
the first
believe
time.
she was here because she was sleeping in as much as she possibly could because she's been messed up with her work schedule. So she had to be here because she didn't want to sleep in.
Okay.
I'll double check, but yeah, I believe she was here.
And then what time did you say you left again to the smoke shop?
Maybe after an hour or so, maybe 11 or so.
Okay. And then what time did you get to the smoke shop?
It's maybe 10 minutes away, so not long after that. Stopped in and got some juice and
What's the name of the smoke shop?
East Monroe.
Okay.
It's just over off of John Young. It's not far from the school.
And then after the smoke shop, what did you do?
Came home again.
Okay, for how long?
At least until maybe 12:30, 12:45ish, something like that.
And then what'd you do after that?
I had a couple errands to run over on 192. She was talking about making a BJ shopping list. She just wanted to make sure I was back in time for us to both go pick. So I was visiting some card shops around the area on 192. I'm kind of a nerd, so we had a new trading card game release, and I was seeing what the situation was with it.
Do you remember what places you visited?
Yeah, Coliseum of Comics. Stopped by a couple Targets, and I was going to go to House Rules Games down by Oak and 192, but I didn't make it that far. I got a flat tire on the way.
Do you remember where you got your flat tire?
It was on 192. I pulled into one of those plazas somewhere. It's been about 10 years since I switched out a tire though, so I made a lot of rookie mistakes and ended up pinning my thumb between the frame and the jack. Yeah, I'm lucky it's not a lot worse than it could have been. Remains to be seen if I'll keep.
Do you remember the name of the plaza by any chance? Do you remember like what stores were in this plaza?
It was like right before you got to Oak though, so it was one of those little strips.
Okay. And then
but I did not
after
make it back in time because of that. I thankfully had the spare. I put that on and tried to get back in time, but caught every red light on the way. And she ended up leaving out. I was about 10 minutes late on it. So I called her and let her know what happened. I apologized profusely because I promised I'd be there with her to go pick her up. Just sat and waited. After that, she had already gone to get her, so I just sat and waited and hung out, straightened up the house a little bit. That was it. Then we got the call.
What do you mean you got the call?
Got the call from her that had not come out. So we started getting worried. Started making the calls to her family. Be on the lookout. She might be walking to you. Just when everything sort of started going downhill.
I was it?
Did you check on the map the southbound? The Greenville? I'm not sure where Greenville is. She forgot her phone, right? Is it normal for her to not have her phone?
Unfortunately, she's severely ADHD, as am I. So it is not uncommon at all, and in fact, very, very usual thing for her to forget things. She'd forget her head if it wasn't screwed on. And we're forgetful about, writing her about that. We'll remind her, and then it will leave our mind, and she'll say okay, and then it will leave her mind.
And is she on medication for this stuff?
Normally, yes. She's been staying with her grandparents a lot this week. So she has not been getting her meds for that.
Okay.
So she was really spacing.
Where?
Disney. Concierge at the club.
What changed in her hours that she needs all this sleep?
She's training, so it's not a set schedule yet.
Okay.
It's just early this day, late closing training this day.
So different hours. Yeah, no, that takes a toll.
So I came up here, she needed help. I split my time between the two places. I needed a visit. We all needed to be a little happier together. So.
This is a green thing, JYP. Just tell me, Jay.
And where's the McDonald's?
Right here.
So that doesn't make sense. Right? Because the school's up here?
Am I messing up the streets again?
Yeah, town loop. Because this one's town center, but town loop.
We're just trying to figure out your direction of travel, right?
I'm so sorry. I'm so bad with that area over there, Hunters Creek.
You said you made a U-turn at the church to go see if she wanted McDonald's again, correct?
Yes.
Did you go anywhere else? Because I know you said you had time to kill.
Yeah.
Did you guys go anywhere else?
No, we didn't go anywhere else.
Is there a reason why you would be back on John Young Parkway?
Well, we tried to go back to McDonald's a second time. We would have made a left over there instead and just looped around again.
What do you mean?
Just made a circle.
Made a circle house. Can you show me on the map? So this is the McDonald's
going back down
right here,
to
right?
McDonald's.
That's the McDonald's right there.
Correct. So going back down and then just straight shot back down.
You would come down this way?
I can't read the map. I'm so sorry.
Yep, I'll go.
Where's the McDonald's?
The McDonald's is right here. This is town loop. So this is John Young Parkway.
John
You guys
Young,
are coming
okay,
up John
this is the
Young.
McDonald's.
Yep.
And the school's on this corner.
Correct. Somewhere over here. So we come back out here, there, and then we can take a straight shot back down to the school again there. They connect. Town Loop and Town Center connect.
Right.
So it's
So where did you make the U-turn?
the U-turn was on the street when we were going to go back to McDonald's, and then we drove down to McDonald's here.
Right. So just so I don't get confused, you're going up Jungyoung Parkway, right? You're going northbound.
Originally, yes.
Right. You make a left at the McDonald's.
Here, go towards the school.
Okay. How far did you get before you made the U-turn? So
We got. Is this the school right here?
yep, that's town loop.
So we got up to here and then made a U-turn over here, past the median.
Okay. So
And back to McDonald's.
on Lincoln Town Loop.
Still time to kill. She still didn't want the McDonald's, but I did give her a raspberry and cheese Danish.
So did you go through the drive-thru? Did you go
No.
inside?
Nope, didn't go inside.
Where did you get the Danish from?
Oh, the Antonins that I brought from home. I gave her a couple of days to put in the car.
Okay.
So she wasn't without food totally. So we just continued past it again and turned around and said, screw it, just drop you off early.
Okay, so you came back around to the McDonald's.
And then right onto the school road from there.
What's is that back on Jungyoung Parkway?
Yeah,
Or?
back on the Jungyoung Parkway. It comes down here. And then here's Town Center again.
So then you took Town Center
Yes.
the second time around?
Yes, and then made a right down to the school.
Do you
Okay.
remember what time you dropped her off?
I estimated it to be sometime between 8:20, 8:40.
Are you on your phone? Do you have Google Maps?
I do, but I wasn't mapsing it.
When you're giving her rides, does she sit in the front or the back?
She sits in the front. She likes to sit in the front.
Do you mind if I look at your maps real quick?
Yeah, that's fine.
And just to confirm, also, you said, so the second time around, you said you went up Jungyoung Parkway, you went through Town Center this time, made a right on Town Loop, and then you said you
And
dropped
it
her
was
off
right here in this stretch here. Yeah.
around this area. Okay. Which was before the underpass.
Correct. Before the underpass, just before the church. The church was ahead on the left. The underpass was just beyond that. The school was just on the other side of the underpass. So maybe
On the left-hand side.
maybe a block away.
Okay. And you said that that's typical of her to walk that distance?
Yeah, she likes the morning walks when it's cool. She doesn't like being seen getting out of certain cars. Being a middle schooler, it's an image thing. And she will sometimes like to hang out and wait for her friends. She's known to do that.
Do you mind if I just take a picture of your history?
Yeah, that's fine.
And that time would have been, you said around
8:20ish, 8:30, sometime between 8:20 and 8:40.
What time does she go into class?
She has to be there no later than 9:15. Doors open at 8. Doors open at 9, I think. And then school officially starts around 9:20 or 9:28, I think.
Okay.
So that up.
And when you dropped her off, is that earlier than typical, later than typical, around the same time?
Earlier than typical.
Really?
We had made really good time that morning, and with the subtraction of McDonald's, we had more time than usual.
Okay.
And she said it was okay. She was very confident and convincing that it would be fine.
And you saw what direction she walked to after you dropped her off?
Yeah, it looked like she was moving towards the direction of the school like she was supposed to.
Was she still on the right side of the road, or did she
She
cross
was
over?
when I left her, yeah, she was still on the right side.
What kind of phone is this?
S23 Ultra, I think.
I don't know how to work this thing.
So I barely know how to work it myself.
I'm an iPhone person.
No,
Is it okay if I go in your settings real quick? I just want to see if you're logged on to your Google.
I am not logged on to my Google with that, actually.
Is it okay if I check?
Yeah.
Does she have any other devices besides that phone? Any other electronics?
She had her school laptop with her.
Okay. Is that still supposed to be with her?
Still supposed to be with her, yes.
Okay. And what kind of book bag was she carrying?
Black book bag with like grayish blue hibiscus flowers on it, like a print.
When she leaves in the mornings, what does she usually put her phone?
Either in her backpack or like her back pocket, kind of wherever she just thinks to put it at the time.
Hold on, I don't know how to use this phone. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
I don't know, you've probably been asked already, but she's never ran away or been away for longer than a certain period of time, amount of time, nothing like that.
No, I think she'd know what to do if she did run away. She's not the type. She's a good kid.
Besides the ADHD, is she diagnosed with anything else?
Yeah, she was tested a while back and had some symptoms of autism, so she's potentially on the spectrum there.
Okay.
She was officially diagnosed with it when she was younger, and then she was retested and said, well, she shows symptoms of being on the spectrum, but maybe not full-on autistic.
Is this what you use to go places?
Yes. Go places, search addresses, look at store hours, write reviews. It's a pretty new phone though. Have we had any updates?
We literally have like 50 people right now on scene looking. I don't know if there's any updates. The best person would be the other detective because he's the one that is in charge of all this.
I don't think I've eaten anything since yesterday.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are worried.
When did you come back to help Jen? Is that her name?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Like, because you live down south, right? Mm-hmm. When did you come back up north to help her?
I just got here this weekend.
Do you remember what day it was?
Sunday was her birthday party, so yeah, it was the evening after her birthday party. Sunday.
Okay. Do you remember what time you got here on Sunday?
8:30ish maybe.
Okay.
Just in time to make sure that she was doing all her nighttime routines.
You live in North Pole, right?
Yeah, I split my time between the two.
Is that on?
Split my time between the two.
Is that Broward County or?
Sarasota County, I believe,
okay.
or Charlotte County, either way.
Gotcha.
It's my parents' house. They're old and they need help these days, and they got a house full of poodles. And it's chaos. So I needed to come back up here and just get away from that. Between two deaf old people yelling at each other and poodles yapping all the time, it's enough to drive anyone up a wall. I was very happy to be back here.
Did you, when you guys were looking for you guys look?
Me and her stayed local. It was all the rest of the family that mobilized and was beating the bushes. And
Did you guys drive together or separate?
I don't think we drove anywhere when we were looking.
You didn't drive anywhere?
Not that I recall.
Did you guys go anywhere last night? Was that media?
Maybe. I think Fox 35 or something.
Yeah.
If it is, let me tell him to use the paper cup.
Okay.
I don't recall. You have to ask her if we went anywhere. I don't recall. I was so zonked out on Ativan at that point.
Okay.
So it was a wreck. I don't.
And this would have been when?
I don't recall us going anywhere last night, but honestly, at that point my brain was mush and I was on so many tranquilizers to keep me stable. It's just...
You said Ativan?
Yeah.
Do you usually take that, or?
Yeah, I have a prescription. I haven't needed it in a long time, though, but...
What's that for?
Anxiety.
Okay.
I was having these rolling panic attacks and breaking down crying, and I just...
It got lost, sorry.
Thank you. Here you go. And it was the only way I could get to sleep last night. And then again this afternoon. That's why I missed your calls. I'm sorry. I took an Ativan and conked out for a few hours. It's the only time when I'm not crying.
And I remember Catherine was actually quite surprised.
It's okay if I just pop down real quick.
So we're trying to get just a good idea, times, all that stuff.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I'm giving my best recollections. I'm not a morning person as it is. So a lot of the times are best guess.
But we know that you go up Jongyang Parkway, down. That's the road you usually take to take her, and then you make a left at that McDonald's, right, which is the town loop.
You can make a left to get there either at the McDonald's or at Town Center itself. They both lead to the school.
So if you leave her at, just so you get a sense of direction, Jongyang Parkway goes northbound and southbound. So you're going northbound into Orange County, making a left at the McDonald's, which is the town loop. You said when you did drop her off at that medium, you said it was around 8:20 to 8:30ish, somewhere around that time.
Somewhere in there, yeah. It was early, but not like outrageously early, you know.
So what would you estimate when you made a left at that McDonald's to be?
After I dropped her off?
No, I'm saying when you dropped her off.
First left by that McDonald's.
Yeah, when you first go, that first left that you make at the McDonald's.
It had to have been around maybe 8, maybe quarter after 8, sometime in there.
Okay.
Sometime between 8 and a quarter after, I think.
All right. So just so it's, you can kind of picture it here on the map. So you're going northbound. You make a left here around like 8:10, 8:15. Let's say 8:15, around there. When you get over here, you make a U-turn. You go back to the McDonald's. But you said that she still doesn't want the
Still
McDonald's.
doesn't want it. She was just going to eat the Danishes that I had given her.
So you're going up here now, still northbound on Jongyang Parkway. You make a left at Town Center this time.
Town Center, then make a right onto, yes.
And then you drop her off around like
dropped her off around halfway up the road there.
So keep in mind, all of this is still northbound,
Okay.
right? You're still northbound on Jongyang Parkway.
Northbound.
So why is your car seen going southbound at 8:10? I'll show you what location it is. McDonald's is over here. At 8:10, your car is seen going southbound at this intersection. So meaning going toward Kissimmee.
I had forgotten I had forgotten my gate clicker. I'm sorry. I forgot. I had gone back to the house real quick after we left because I forgot my gate clicker. I actually had to go through the front gate and use my parking pass to grab my clicker. So it was a long time. I'm sorry. Like I said, I was guesstimating these times. I'm not a morning person.
Okay.
So yes, we'd gone out.
How far did you get before you came back down when you realized you forgot your clicker?
Nearly all the way to the school. And then we turned around. We had plenty of time to kill, so it was time to go back. I rushed back, got the clicker, and that's when I came back here this way.
So you guys came back here to get your clicker?
Correct.
So when we look at the cameras in the front, it's going to show you coming back in
Correct.
here with her in the car?
Yes, with her in the passenger seat,
Okay.
yes.
I know it sounds like we're asking you stupid questions, okay? We just want to verify
okay.
the times.
I'm sorry I'm not being more help. I'm not a morning person. I was half asleep as it was. I'm trying.
The clicker's to get where?
Into our neighborhood.
Okay, and you forgot the clicker where?
I had forgotten the clicker here.
So how did you get in?
I was able to use my parking sticker for them to scan to let me through.
Okay, so could you not have done that after you dropped her off?
I could have, but I also like to come back in from the back gate a lot of the times, and I didn't know if I would be back right away. And sometimes they're busy up front, so it's better not to wait in a line.
What time is security usually there at the front gate?
They were there when I came through. He scanned my ticket.
So would it have not just made more sense to drop her off and come back since security's already there?
I don't know if it made more sense. It's just what I did.
Okay.
There you go.
Good.
Oh, thank you.
Anything else that we haven't asked that you feel is important? Maybe that might help us out?
I'm sorry I'm having trouble recollecting everything.
I'm going to step away for a second.
Anything that you remember maybe she might have told you?
She didn't mention anything in particular. I made a joke about her Crocs. She wears Crocs and socks. So we were joking about that.
Would she say she's usually like a happy,
Very
go-lucky girl?
Very happy. She brings a lot of joy. She's a very good girl. It definitely doesn't feel the same around here if she's not here. She was so happy too. She was looking forward to my visit here. She was looking forward to us all being together. She was just happy. She was just very happy.
So you'd say you guys have a pretty good relationship?
Yeah, definitely have a very strong bond. Since she goes to when she gets in a fight with her and she needs someone to comfort her, and like I'm that person for her, you know.
How's
Good most of the time, you know. not long ago, so she's getting the PMS mood swings, and they butt heads, and so as well as you can expect, but otherwise very loving, very loving. This girl knows nothing but love here in this house. She hardly ever hears the word no. Double-edged sword that is.
How is she in school?
So-so. She's so-so in school.
Like grade-wise,
she's
or
doing a lot
behavior-wise?
better, though. Apparently she just made Student of the Week.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so we're very proud of her. She's doing singing, choir, and she's sounding just amazing. She sang for me last night. I immediately wanted to show her the movie Sister Act because of the choir singing. It was so pretty. It reminded me. Told her I was very proud of her.
Does she have, does she like video games, anything like that?
She does like video games, yeah. She plays Roblox, Minecraft. I think those are the two big ones that I know of.
You don't know her to like ever have any friends on there that she talks to, anything
She
like that?
does. She does group chats. She does like voice chatting too on it. Usually with like her cousins or her friends, and they'll all be playing Roblox or something, and, yelling at each other on the phone.
When's the last time you all lived together?
December.
Okay.
December.
And you said the reason was for your parents down there?
Yeah, going down to help them because they're getting on in age and they're making their end-of-life plans and they need someone to help out.
Can you unlock this one more time, please?
Sure.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry, are you guys done?
No, we're good.
The other detective mentioned that you did not have your phone yesterday.
Correct.
Tell me about that.
I left my phone at home in the morning too. I was so busy riding her to the door on time that I left my phone. She left her phone. We both left our phones.
Did you have your phone when you went to the smoke shop?
Not the first time after I dropped her off. I was still without it. I got my phone and went back to the smoke shop later when I got home.
And then I also noticed, I was checking your call history. I noticed that you don't have anything before this morning. Is that unusual on your phone?
No, it's a new phone. Stupid. I went to do an update yesterday morning, and I don't know what the fuck. Pardon me. I don't know what the heck I did, but somehow during the massive OS update, I managed to factory reset my phone and lose all of my contacts, all my information.
What time was that? Do you remember?
Sometime while I was hanging out with Jen. Jen might know. I looked at her and said, what did I just do?
Okay.
She might know better. I don't know what time it was. It was when I was here with Jen.
Okay. I don't think I have any other questions. Do you, Louis?
I don't know where my head was yesterday. It was so far up my backside.
That's okay, we understand. In the meantime, while we're waiting for all this to get sorted out, I am going to hold on to your phone, okay? I'll give it back to you when we're done. Okay? Do you have any questions for us?
How long are you going to need my phone?
I'm not sure. I'm waiting for my supervisor to call me.
My dad. It's just my dad's using that to get a hold of me and get updates.
They can call Jen's phone.
Okay.
Did the other detective give you his business card?
I believe so.
Okay, well here's mine, in case you want it for any reason.
Okay.
Okay? Do you swear that everything you told us is true?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it. I know it's a little hectic right now. And I know you were about to head somewhere. If you can just hang tight and refrain from going back in your car, please.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. I was actually going to move it over a spot.
No, just leave it here. It's fine. Thank you.
In Central Florida, I'm sure you're aware.
Case number 24-11313. Today's date is February 28th, 2024. The time is 16 hours, speaking with Stephan again. Okay. So, as you guys know, they have, right? Mm-hmm. They've been going through the phone, and they noticed that there was like a lot of messages between you and can you explain to me what your relationship is between?
Yeah. Mostly things like, when are you going to call us? When are you going to come up here and visit? Hey, poopy head, get online. Things like that.
Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Your phone. I told you that I was going to hold on to it and that we would like to download your phone, right?
Okay.
Is this something that I have your consent to do, or do I need to get a search warrant for your phone?
It should be fine.
You okay with us going through your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have the PIN to your phone?
42586.
Four two five 8 Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. And then, okay, so when you guys FaceTime, what do you guys talk about?
There too. We're just chatting.
Okay. I noticed that at some of the times that you guys are FaceTiming, it's like really late. Is it normal for her to be in bed late?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, her bedtime's usually around 10:30, 11 o'clock. I talk to them both before bedtime when I'm not here.
Okay.
10:30 is supposed to be a bedtime, but she gets to push it sometimes.
Okay. When you guys are FaceTiming. Okay.
Sometimes phone to FaceTime with her, sometimes FaceTiming them both together on one of the phones.
Okay. And then you said that yesterday you accidentally factory reset your phone, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember what time that was?
No, it was sometime in the morning. I had been pushing off doing an update for a while.
Was that before or after you went to the smoke shop?
Before? I'm not sure. I'm not a morning person. It's a newer phone. I was doing this update. It had some sort of weird option at the bottom that said something about reinstall everything, and I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing.
Okay, can you
Jen was
explain
right
to
there
me?
with
Where were you? Like, were you in your settings?
I was following whatever the links were for the OS update.
I don't have an Android, so I don't know where you...
I'm not super tech
Is
savvy.
it like a text? Was it...
It was a push notification that came in at the top that I had just been ignoring for a long
up here.
time. Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was a boneheaded maneuver.
Okay, and then where did it direct you to?
I don't know. It took me to a page with all the stuff in the system, and I clicked something. I wasn't paying attention.
Do you remember what it said? Like, what kind of update was it?
It was like a big OS update, and it had all these options, and it was like reinstall something with all the apps and stuff. Reinstall everything, the apps and stuff. I don't know exactly what I said. I pushed it, and it started doing the update, and then it turned into some sort of reset or something. I'm not sure how I did that.
Okay.
I was half asleep,
and then when you came back to get your key fob, what did you do when you got here?
Ran inside, got the key fob, ran back out again.
Okay, where did you park?
Right up here, I think.
Okay. How long would you say you were inside your apartment for?
Literally long enough to run in, grab the fob, and come back out. So.
Okay, and then what did you do?
At the most.
What did you do when you came back up?
Got back in the car and went back on the morning mission.
Okay. The camera has you in the complex for 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Does that seem about right?
Yeah, coming into the complex, driving around, parking, getting the fob, coming back out. Sounds about right.
Okay. And then you leave, what time would you say you dropped her off at the school? Or not at the school, but in the area?
My estimate was sometime between 8:20 and 8:40.
Okay, the camera has you leaving the complex at 8:31.
8:31? Okay, so it must have been closer to 8:40 then.
Okay, and then after you dropped her off, did you go directly to the smoke shop?
I did. I went directly to the smoke shop. Waited. It was supposed to be open, but it wasn't. I waited a little while to see if they were just being slow about turning on the open sign. They weren't, so I went home at that point.
How long do you think you waited?
5-10 minutes maybe.
Okay, so if you drop her off at like 8:40, how far is the smoke shop from there to where you dropped her off?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many minutes. How far?
Did you go anywhere else after the smoke shop?
Sorry. I don't know. I don't think I went anywhere specific. I was just driving probably in the direction of home. But I don't remember stopping anywhere specifically.
And you were there for 5 to 10 minutes?
Roundabout, I think.
Okay, so like let's say you drop her off at 8:40. We don't see your car coming back south until 10 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing between 8:40 and 10 o'clock?
Cruising around a little bit.
Okay, but I asked you earlier, like what you were doing, and you said you were there for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then you came back home.
Yeah, well, I went to the smoke shop, like I said. But I may have been meandering around the area, but I made my way home.
Okay, but I'm asking you earlier, right? And even like the first time we talked to you, you're not telling us that you're like, just cruising the area, like you're coming home. So I need to be able to explain to my supervisors why there's such a time gap.
I mean, I don't know what to say. It was just a normal day. We didn't have anything important to do. The smoke shop was supposed to open soon, so I made my way over there. Wasn't any particular rush, though.
Okay, but can you help me explain to them, because I don't know the explanation or the answer to this question, okay? So can you help me explain to them why there's such a delay in the time?
No, can't explain it. I wasn't going anywhere in particular. I wasn't doing anything in particular. Just making my way to the smoke shop. Waited for them to open. They did not open. And then I left.
Where did you go from there?
From the smoke shop, I went home.
Okay, the smoke shop is like 10 minutes from here, right?
15-20-ish, something like that.
Earlier you told us it was 10 minutes.
Time is not a strong suit of mine. I'm guesstimating here.
I understand, but I have to be able to explain, where you were for an hour and 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And right now I can't explain that.
Okay. Smoke shop was supposed to open close to 10. I waited. They did not open. And I came home.
Okay.
What time specifically was it supposed to open?
10 o'clock is when it's supposed to open.
So why'd you go at 8:40?
Like I said, I didn't go exactly at 8:40. I went to the smoke shop after I dropped her off.
But even if it was 9 o'clock, that still would have been an hour before they're supposed to open.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you think it would be open?
I didn't think it would be open. I was hoping I'd get there early enough and wait for it to open.
So you would have waited an hour for it to be open?
I did not wait an hour. I got there maybe 20 20 minutes before it opened, 15 minutes before it opened, and just sat and waited.
But then you're seen coming at 10 a.m. when it's supposed to open, already coming down.
Leaving, because it was supposed to open at 10 a.m. I waited a few minutes after 10. They were not opening, and that's when I left.
You did not wait a few minutes after 10.
What do you mean?
At 10 a.m., you were seen coming down southbound on Jongyang Parkway at the intersection of Jongyang Parkway.
At 10 a.m., I was still in front of that shop waiting to see if they were going to turn on the open sign.
Okay, but if you dropped at 8:40 and you said you only waited for a couple minutes at the smoke shop, why would you still be there at 10?
I waited to see if it would open, and they did not open.
We got that part, but you said you were there for a couple of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said you were there a couple minutes after 10. So that's...
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
I apologize for that. I'm trying to help you out the best that I can, but I just...
Right, so like, if you drop her off around 8:40, let's say, give or take 10 minutes, you make it to the shop around 9, the smoke shop, and you sit there and wait for a couple minutes for it to open. You said you waited for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. Does it make sense that you're still there at 10 o'clock?
I was there at 10 o'clock.
Okay, so what did you do before that?
I dropped her off, and I made my way over. Not a direct route, but I made my way over there.
Did you stop anywhere on your way to the smoke shop?
I don't think so.
Do you have problems with your memory that you can't recall what you did?
Yes, I'm extremely ADHD. I'm sorry. So just details start to get fuzzy after a while. Even the times I'm giving you are my best guesstimates here. I didn't have my phone with me at the time, so I wasn't aware of exactly what time.
There's no time on your car?
Transpiring. There probably is, but it's not my car. It's my parents' car.
How certain are you that you were outside of the smoke shop at 10 a.m.?
90% sure.
What makes you think that you were there at 10?
I saw lights on inside the place. It looked like they were coming to life in there. Mm-hmm. So it looked like they were about to open. Mm-hmm. And I was waiting to see if they were going to turn on the open.
Do you remember if there was anybody inside?
I couldn't see inside from the outside. But after I came home and then went back to the smoke shop again later, when they definitely were open, I stopped in and got my vape juice finally. I don't remember the name of the guy working there, but he was like a skinny guy, short, skinny guy.
When you came back for the fob, did she go inside with you?
No, she was in the car still. She was asleep.
Where in the car?
Passenger side.
The front seat?
Correct.
Okay. Did she at any point go in the back of the vehicle, like in the back seat?
No.
So she was in the front the whole time? Mm-hmm. Awake or asleep?
She was asleep.
Okay.
She was conked out. We had gotten up early.
How was she positioned in the front seat?
Leaned back in the seat, just kind of conked out, napping.
Where was her head in relation to the seat?
Against the seat, I think. Against it. Just.
Was the seat leaning back, or
the seat was leaning back? Yeah, she had leaned the seat back so that she could recline and.
Okay. And then I need you to try to, refresh your memory. When you got the flat tire on 192, what could you see around you?
It's 192. It all looks the same. I'm so sorry. I'm drawing a blank as any specific businesses or names.
Did you pull off to the side of the road, to a business?
I pulled off into a side plaza, like one of those little strips along the side. Dug around for my spare and my jack. Thankfully, we had both.
What direction were you coming in?
I was going towards John Young.
Okay.
So that direction.
And it was a plaza. You don't remember any businesses that were in the
I
plaza?
don't. I was focused on the
What
wheel
color
that
is the plaza?
Oh God, I have no idea what color the plaza was. I'm sorry, didn't even register a detail like that.
Okay, remind me again what you were doing on 192?
I was looking around at different game shops. One of my card games just had a release on Friday, Lorcana.
What card are you talking about?
It's like a trading card game, and they had a big release on Friday, so I wanted to go around.
What's
and
the
see.
card though?
I'm sorry.
What is the game?
It's called Lorcana.
Lorcana?
Yeah, Lorcana. It's a trading card game made by Disney, kind of like Pokemon cards or Magic the Gathering.
Okay, and you stopped at what shop?
I stopped over by Target. I was going to see if they had any. I then went up and was going to go to a place called House Rules Games. That is on 192 and Oak Street. I did not make it to House Rules Games because I got a flat tire before
Okay, which
then.
Target did you go to?
The one down on 192.
192 and what?
Is there more than one down there?
I don't know, I'm not familiar with the area.
It's the one down there by the Walmart, I think. I'm not sure what the cross streets are. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I wish I could be more help. I'm so sorry.
And how long will you change your tire for?
I'm not sure how long it took. I got back here by like 2:35, 2:40, because I was trying to get home to go with her to go to school, and we needed to leave by 2:30. The flat tire made me late for that.
Okay. And there's absolutely nothing that you can remember about the plaza that you got the flat.
No, I don't remember color. I mean, it's all just kind of brownish, I think, along there.
And you said when you got your flat, you were heading towards JYP from 192.
Yes.
Okay, where's your flat tire at?
It's in the trunk.
Okay.
I've got the spare on there right now.
Yeah, I saw the spare. I don't think I have anything else. That's my phone number. If you can remember where you got your flat tire, just have her send me a text message, okay?
Okay. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I know the details are important, and just the way our brains work with ADHD is those things can get fuzzy.
Are you on any medication?
I'm supposed to be. I have not been medicated lately, so
Okay.
I'm not a morning person. I'm very time blind on the best of days and forgetful. So I understand that none of that is helpful in this case.
Okay.
I'm pretty sorry.
I explained that we're gonna have the apartment secured for the rest of the night. Okay?
Why? So the investigation is not going to happen tonight?
It is. So, I explained to her, me and him have been out all day, right? So we're gonna go home, but just because me and him are going home doesn't mean that there isn't other people out here, okay? We have another unit out here, which is called Violent Crimes. They're out all night. So they're gonna keep looking. We also have some of our detectives that were sent home earlier to get rest because they were gonna come and relieve me and him, right? So we're gonna take like shifts with the investigation, because obviously if we're exhausted, we're of no use, right?
We're all exhausted too.
Right.
My brain is mush.
Right. And we don't want that to happen with anything that we're doing. So what we're doing is we're taking turns with whatever needs to be done. So we'll brief whoever's coming next, and then hey, this is what we did, this is what needs to be done, okay? The reason we are keeping your house for the night is because your house cannot be completed by one person, right? We don't do that. We have a unit that comes and takes pictures and does whatever they need to do with the house. After a certain time, it's only one person working in that unit. And she can do it by herself. So people come in at 8 o'clock in the morning. So when the rest of her squad comes in, they're going to come in and, tackle your place as a unit so that they can get it done quicker. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And then I explained to her too, because in your car, we are going to also tow your car, okay? It's going to go to our sheriff's office, which is at 2500 West Colonial, okay? She said she needed to get her medication. You're not under any medication.
I have medication in the house, though, that I do need to get my blood pressure meds and anxiety meds as well.
Okay, so I'm going to try to figure out where all of this stuff is. Where's your stuff at?
Upstairs in the guest room currently.
In guest room number 4?
Yes. And it's on top of the mini refrigerator.
Does it have your name on it?
Yes, all of it.
Okay, where does she keep her...
There.
Where does she keep her medicine?
In her zipper case on her nightstand, I believe.
In the downstairs?
Correct.
What zipper?
It's like a little sort of brown zipper case. It's on her nightstand. So right on top of her
Okay, so I can just bring the whole thing out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any bottles on top of the nightstand around it too, but you might want to grab those. Yeah, just.
Is there anything that you can recall that we haven't asked you? I know we asked you like a whole bunch of questions earlier, and we just asked you like a whole bunch more.
I don't know. My brain is so mush right now. I barely slept. I haven't eaten in 2 days. I'm trying to think of questions for you.
Can you see what shirt you're wearing?
What's that?
Can you see what shirt you're wearing?
Yeah. Just a blue shirt.
Okay.
Remember what shirt you were wearing on Monday morning?
I believe it was this shirt. I'm still wearing the same shirt.
Have you showered since then or anything?
I showered the other night. No, not since yesterday. Sorry, your hair is even still greasy.
I know you got a cut, right, from...
Yeah, from changing the tire.
Do you mind if I see your arms?
Yeah, go for it. I haven't changed the tire
do you mind taking your sweater off?
It's cold, but yeah. I haven't changed the tire in like 10 years. I made a rookie mistake. Got my thumb too close to the jack in the frame and it slipped. I pinned my thumb in between the frame and the jack. I got lucky. I panicked and pulled out, which you're not supposed to do. Mm-hmm. But there was a lot of pain. I panicked.
And flip your hand over. Can you see the other arm?
Mm-hmm. Whatever my parents used for a tire iron.
Do you mind if I take a picture of the
yeah,
you got?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Let me see if the flash works. Okay, can you go like this again?
Mm-hmm.
And then flip it over for me. And let me do this one. Flip it over, please. Okay.
Is it good?
Yeah. She got her stuff. So let me go get your stuff and then you guys will be good to go. Okay, where are you guys gonna head? Do you know?
No idea.
Okay, can you text me an address of wherever you guys end up tonight?
I think my dad's on his way down too.
Let me just verify her pills, and that's it. Okay? And then your phone, they're going to work on it overnight, so you'll probably get it in the morning. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay.